This is the story of an attempted assassination gone wrong on the streets of Birmingham. At its heart, a hit woman from Wisconsin.
Hi, can I get a taxi?
Wearing a hijab as disguise, and an escape to Armenia that was thwarted by social media.
This is a carefully planned, persistent, murderous plot.
But who is Aimee Betro, and how did this American would-be assassin end up in the UK? The story begins in Birmingham with a feud between families. Now 31-year-old Mohammed Nazir and his father 56-year-old Mohammed Aslam got into a violent confrontation with Aslat Mohammed at Aslat Mohammed's clothing boutique in the city. Aslat Mohammed then smashed the windows of Mohammed Aslam's family home. The violence that day left Mohammed Aslam with brain injuries. That set in motion a plot for revenge and retaliation. This is where Aimee Betro enters the story. A 45-year-old woman from Wisconsin in the US. She claims she met Mohammed Aslam on a dating app and had met with him multiple times in the UK between 2018 and 2019.
So we've not seen evidence of payment. They met on a dating site. Whether this is a partner doing something for another partner, again, we have no clear evidence of that. I see it as a criminal association and a murderous plot.
Aimee Betro then flew to the UK in August 2019. She told court she was in the country to do random things, including going to a music festival and dog sitting. Police questioned those claims.
I think the evidence was overwhelming. I think Ms. Betro has a troublesome relationship with the truth. And I was overwhelmed by her reluctance to accept that she'd committed the offence.
On September the 6th, Aimee Betro bought a pay-as-you-go SIM card from a Tesco in Yardley. That was when she first made contact with her target. Betro called Aslat Mohammed, saying she wanted to buy his car, which was advertised online. Mohammed said he was puzzled as to how she got his number, as he hadn't included it on the advert. The next day, she bought a Mercedes with the fake name Becky Booth, and at around 6:45 in the evening, she drove to Measham Grove and lay in wait for Aslat Mohammed at his family home. Just after 8:10, an Audi driven by Aslat Mohammed's son, Sikander Ali, pulled into the close. That is when Aimee Betro got out her car, wearing a hijab to conceal her identity. She aimed her gun at Sikander Ali's head and pulled the trigger. The gun jammed, leaving Ali with his life and enough time to reverse out of the close to safety. Aimee Betro then abandoned her car and called a taxi to make a getaway.
Hello, can I get a taxi?
Where from?
I'm on Austin Close.
Okay, and where are you going?
To the Rotunda.
To where, sorry?
The Rotunda, to the Birmingham, to Moore Street.
Could I get your name?
Becky.
After returning to her hotel, she messaged her intended target Aslat Mohammed saying, "Where are you hiding? Stop playing hide and seek. You are lucky the gun jammed." Aimee Betro then went back to the scene of her botched assassination attempt. She pointed her gun at Aslat Mohammed's house, and this time the gun didn't jam. Fortunately, no one was hit.
She hit the windows upstairs and downstairs. The weapon that's used highly likely to be a semi-automatic 9mm pistol, and they're not particularly difficult to use. It's a brazen attempt. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of effort to avoid detection.
After leaving in a taxi, she sent another text to Aslat Mohammed. "Go look at your house," she said. "Watch your back. I will be shedding blood soon." On September the 9th, 2019, Aimee Betro flew to Chicago from Manchester. Mohammed Nazir then followed her to the US a few days later. This is where the story takes another turn. A month after returning to the US, Aimee Betro sent bullets and gun parts in the post to an associate of Mohammed Nazir's who he had fallen out with in an attempt to frame him. Nazir called the authorities, saying his former friend would be receiving illegal items in the post. Police say this was unrelated to the assassination attempt.
That was an investigation which has been primarily led by Derbyshire Constabulary, and that relates to components and ammunition being sent from the United States through to the United Kingdom. But ultimately, the basis of that is that she facilitated the movement of those products into this country.
Fast forward to November 2024, and after a police investigation, Mohammed Nazir was found guilty of conspiracy to murder and guilty of possession of a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence. He was also found guilty of perverting the course of justice and of illegally importing firearms. For that, Mohammed Nazir was sentenced to 32 years in prison. His father, Mohammed Aslam, was found guilty of conspiracy to murder and was jailed for 10 years. In the summer of 2024, almost 5 years after the assassination plot, journalists at the Mail Online tracked down Aimee Betro by analysing her Instagram photos and obtaining CCTV footage that showed she was living in a flat in the former Soviet country of Armenia. They then tipped off police, who raided her home and arrested her. She was then extradited back to the UK.
I think she fell foul of a really slick, dynamic law enforcement operation over here. I don't know whether that was her perspective from America, that's how we operate, but zero tolerance around firearms criminality.
It was a murder plot with roots in Wisconsin that went all the way to the West Midlands. By the grace of a gun that jammed, no one died in this attempted assassination, but for her central role in it, Aimee Betro has now been convicted.